Arena Commander is here, at least on the PTU. How is performance? Well, on the whole, it's okay, but there are a couple of areas that are a bit concerning, especially on the minimum spec system. Before we actually talk about performance though, we must mention the fact that it's quite hard to actually get a game right now, which is a bit concerning. One of my major worries about this is that if people don't want to play these game modes, they will die pretty quickly. Now, I know it's the PTU and it's the middle of the day when I'm testing this, but in the UK at least it's a holiday, so I would expect people to be playing. Maybe this suggests that CIG's wave system that they've changed to hasn't worked because they've not got the numbers playing the game. I've got some more thoughts on player numbers and whether this is going to work out at the end. Okay, so testing. Testing in the PTU is tricky because patches change so quickly. One patch might perform really well, another really badly. And also CIG are running extra code to gather more information, so it's not a great thing. So don't read too much into what I'm showing you here. With my main system, which is a 7800 X3D and 4080 with 32 gigs of RAM, performance is pretty good on the whole, even at 4K. The new FPS modes seem to be completely GPU bound, which you'd expect, especially at 4K, but for some reason, the performance on the Good Doctor map isn't great at all. It's a bit lower than the other maps. I've messed around with the settings a bit to find out what's going on there, but it just seems like performance is worse. It's still playable, but for a lot of people, they would want to demand 60 FPS at least for an FPS game. So I'd kind of expect some complaints about this. I did do some quick testing at different resolutions. Performance improves as you drop the resolution, but I suspect something is broken here or something's not working quite right because the visuals just don't justify 50 FPS with a 4080, even at 4K. The tank modes also seem to have some issues. Lower FPS than you probably expect. Again, it could be to do with the fact that it's on a full planet like the Good Doctor map is. And while we're talking about the tanks, the wheeled vehicle improvements that are in 320, I don't know what they were, but tanks are pretty hard to drive. I did test some space combat on the main system. Performance in the new master mode, free flight mode around Korea was good. I can't really comment on master modes themselves. The targeting system is broken and I'm not a great pilot, but on the whole, it seemed fine to me. But the master mode's Vandal Swarm mode on Broken Moon was a step down in performance. It could be the map, or it could be the actual swarm of Vandal ships. There were loads of them. I ended up fighting on my own and they just completely overwhelmed me. Again, the lack of targeting definitely didn't help, but it does seem as though the ship AI has taken some sort of step forward. I know PvE isn't everybody's favourite thing, but this did get me actually a bit excited for Squadron 42. Now, onto the minimum spec system. It's got an i7-8700 with 16 gigs of RAM and a 1660. Compiling shaders took a while on each map, so make sure you wait for that and you don't complain about stuttering until the compiling is finished, because it did take a while. At 1080p, on most of the FPS maps, it's pretty playable. It's definitely harder than playing on the main system, but it's not impossible to have fun. Once again though, the Good Doctor map was a step down in performance, actually being pretty unplayable on the minimum spec system. I did try messing with the settings a bit and it looks like going from high to low might gain you a few FPS, but it's not enough to salvage the experience. It's pretty rough. And the tank modes are also pretty tough on the performance, under 30 FPS. And like the main system, the minimum spec system is GPU bound here. The 1660 is the bottleneck. But again, I'm not sure why it's so much worse on certain maps. I actually would be almost tempted for CIG to pull the Good Doctor map itself, just because if you're playing this on a lower end system, it's just not going to be fun at all. So performance is a bit iffy, but I think my bigger worry is something else. Historically, the interest in Arena Commander and especially Star Marine fizzled out. I really did enjoy Star Marine quite a lot back in the day, and every now and again I've tried to find a game over the years, and normally you could find a game of elimination, but Control, the zone capture mode, has basically been impossible to get a game unless you took a load of friends in yourself. My worry with the new changes is that certain game modes just won't get played. It seems as though Gun Rush is by far the most popular mode at the moment, which kind of makes sense, it's really fun, although some maps it doesn't work so well on. But I would really love to play the new Korea Control map, it's really good. I'm sure when 320 goes live, getting a game in any mode will be easy, but in a couple of months? I hope so, but I am a bit concerned. My only suggestion would be for CIG to create an FPS playlist quick playlist option which cycles through different game modes and maps. That way CRG can funnel players together and they can try different modes. The same for the tanks and the same for the PvE ship modes. I would love to see playlists that would cycle you through those different modes. Hopefully I'm wrong about all this and there's nothing to be worried about, but I'm not completely sure that the Star Citizen community is really into kind of hyper FPS Twitch-based gameplay. I don't know, we'll see. Overall, we have to credit CRG. They've done a really good thing here. These changes are significant and CRG has neglected this game mode for years now. Arena Commander and Star Marine have been crying out for an injection of life, and this is it. It's all pretty buggy at the moment, so I would expect this to be in the PTU for a good while, but I think this is something for everybody to look forward to.